Good morning, welcome back to Garage. Last time we did a few little upgrades. We fixed the tailgate, we added a hitch, put a roof rack on. We also 3D scanned it with the help of Rob, and Rob has sent that off so we can get a body kit for it. So that leads us to now our list for the ultimate pit truck today. We gotta pull off the shocks. That's number one. We're gonna send those out to BC Coils to get rebuilt. Actually, they're gonna build us a whole new set. And then number two, we're gonna have to take out the engine and trans. We need to see how much space we have, which leads me to the next. We gotta measure up the engine bay and see how much space there actually is. And then we're gonna mock up the rotary. It would be the last thing we do today. So I gotta get this on the lift, kind of figure out a way to do it because it's not like a normal motor where you can just pull it out from the top. We're gonna have to drop both subframes down, and we'll probably end up needing Vargas to come bring us a few extra parts so we can see how long everything is. And we're gonna talk different transmission, gearbox options, because we don't know yet. It's the FD transmission's really long, can make a huge problem for us. So we're just gonna have to get into it and get started right now. Kyle, what's up, bud?
What's up, dog?
You got some random calls? Got the Kei speaker hooked up?
Yeah.
Yo!
Jordan.
What up, dude?
Hey, you're gonna be on an episode of Garage.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Dude, what all you told that guy was a good surfer? What the
Yo, I'll hit you up later.
Alright, man.
Luckily, we got the Cove speaker. They sponsored this episode. Hoon 65 if you want one, 65% off. Cove.
Flip it over. Show him. Man, labels out, bud. It was left in the rain. We don't know who left it in the rain.
One of us left it in the rain.
One of us left it in the rain.
Still works. Big shout out to Cove for sponsoring this episode. They're huge fans of the show. And all you guys watching at home, thank you guys for watching. Let's get to work, dude.
So we pull off the center console, you can kind of see everything exposed, which is cool. The four-wheel drive stuff here, handbrake, and then the shifter. The shifter link is kind of cool. You can see how that moves back and forth. It's pretty slick. I want to take all this stuff off and then see what we can do from the top. All right, so a little update. We pulled off the front end, drained some of the coolant because we're gonna pull out the motor, but took out the shocks more importantly because we gotta ship those out to BC for them to remake them. Got these little guys, one front shock, one rear shock. That should give them enough information for what they need to do to build us a custom set. What I'm gonna go on to now is probably take off the other side, and then I'll get the front diff out just to clear up some space, and then maybe I'll have to prop the bed up. But I'm gonna have to get something over here. I'm probably gonna drop the motor, trans, everything together. See if it is connected to both subframes or not, we'll see. It's cool because all this can be like taken off here. If you have to do any maintenance on it, the motor probably has to come out. So they made it really easy to take out. It's kind of awesome. All we gotta do is cut the exhaust off, undo the mount, drop it straight down.
Do you guys recommend this?
It's safer fish. In case anything happens, you can still run out of the way. Look at this little guy.
Yeah, it looks a lot smaller from here
Let
than
it
it's
go.
actually on.
Yeah, we should forklift.
You guys should just retrofit this trans on
With the four-wheel drive. It's a 12 valve on 3 cylinders. That's 4 valves per cylinder. Wow.
That's math.
Wow. 660.
You want it?
No. I don't need any more stuff at my house.
Brad, take it.
No.
Give it to Zach, make a motorcycle. Oh, yo, crank pulley will come right through here.
Right on top of it?
No problem.
Sick.
Like, crank pulley
So what
I'd
about,
say-
where does the cover end up?
If anything, I'll notch this, right, and tube it. It's funny how much that little bitty wire held me back on it. We just need to chop that tube off.
Which tube?
The
Yeah, that's
oil
just,
filler.
it's just to fill
It's
the
just a
oil.
filler.
So
Yeah.
that's fine.
Now the intake manifold, did you see those?
Yeah, I know it's
They're
freaking
like
tall.
this big. So
Yeah.
what we're gonna do is probably like an ITB setup. So you do ITBs to the side.
Yeah.
We'll just have to be fairly short, and then the exhaust I can make, or
Yeah, sounds sick.
I know Vargas wants to make it too. But thanks, Jose. We got that out pretty fast. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, we mocked up this a little bit, but we need to get some spare parts. So I'm gonna go talk to Vargas. We're gonna get alternator, get some bolts to put the pan on, stuff like that. Build the motor up so we know exactly how much room we have. But it looks pretty promising. Even if we have some issues, I have no problem rebuilding this front cross member here. So we could push that even further forward. We actually have quite a bit of room. So I'm pretty excited. The little motor's out. We'll pick this back up tomorrow after we get some parts from Vargas. All right, so new day, got a lot to do. Hopefully we can get this thing kind of assembled. We don't have every part we need. Vargas will hopefully bring us an alternator, but we know some things. We know we're gonna have to trim this down because that doesn't fit, but that should be fine. Then we have to put this on probably at a reverse mount, so this sump can be changed to at any time. So it's kind of cool, but we're gonna get that up there and mocked up as much as we can so we can figure out a gearbox situation. That's the main problem with this build, is trying to find a gearbox. So we'll get that up as far forward as we can and then figure out how much room we have before the differential and the drive shaft. But we're gonna be doing everything on Twitch today. So if you wanna catch this stuff live, you can catch it on Twitch.
So Drew, explain what's going on here.
So we're twitching, as the office calls it. Basically, every Wednesday we're trying to do like garage or project cars. All the stuff that takes a lot longer than you see in our videos, we're doing here for like 4 hours.
4 hours, so you cover a quarter of my day. All right, little update. We tried to fit pretty much assembled 13B inside here, but it does not fit very well. So what I think we have to do is pull the subframe down, and this cross member here is just in the way of the oil pan, and it won't allow it to go up a little bit. So what I want to do is take this out, because this can be modified. So we'll take this out, we'll put the motor where it has to go, we'll take some more measurements and figure out where it has to be, and hopefully from there we'll have at least somewhat of a plan of a gearbox. Excuse the talking in the background, that'll just be Brian, live on Twitch. But back to where our build is. I just took a measurement from here about to here, which is where the other plate is at. And then I measured the front of the motor, fully assembled with the oil pan on it. What we're gonna have to do is cut this out. But what I'm gonna do for now is drop it down. So I'm just gonna drop it down and fit the motor up in there and see what we can do to get around that. So from there, we will try and get some measurements for the transmission, see what is actually an option. All right, so we had the subframe taken out. We put the motor in roughly in place. From what I remember measuring, the crank pulley was about 5 inches, so that gives us just a barely room here. So that's where this would lie, and that's about as high as the motor can get. From here to here on the diff, it's about 48 inches. If we brought over the other Miata transmission, I measured that, that's 35 inches long. From the bell housing to there, we would need an adapter to make that, so it's gonna be a little bit long. So 35 inches is literally to here. That leaves us this much room for a drive shaft. It's about 10 to 12 inches. This is really long. There's other options as far as 256 is smaller, the Muncie, that kind of stuff, or the sequential. So what we're looking at is probably something that's gonna be, you know, from a big old VA car. And They do make plates for that, so it would be fairly simple. We just tried to see if we could get away with anything we had in-house, but it looks like that's too long. And the FD transmission's even longer than that. It's 8 inches longer than, or actually almost 10 inches longer than that transmission there. So we're waiting on a few parts. We're gonna ship out the suspension today. I'm gonna clean some of this stuff up, do a little bit of math, try to figure some stuff out, order some new parts, and we'll be back at it. We have to get this thing in on the next one. So we gotta start mocking this up and making some headway. Also comment on YouTube, help me figure out what we can do. Just put some suggestions out there. Kind of don't know where we're going with this. So we want as many suggestions as we could get. We'll pick from a few. I have a direction I think we're gonna go. It doesn't hurt to help. I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. It's gonna happen. We're gonna make this thing happen. It's gonna be exciting. So we're moving right along. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys are liking the show. We don't have a name for the truck yet, so comment below, help us out. We got stuff like Lord Brappington, or Lil Brappy, or Scary Carrie, some like Brap Pitt. You know, things like that. That's what we're coming up with. We need better names. So help us out, comment below, click subscribe, watch the next episode. Hopefully we'll have a name picked out, as long as you help us. Thank you in advance.